Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Terry Stiles. In this week's news, a family is safe after a house fire in Addison, and a cell tower is okayed despite opposition, and safety upgrades continue at the school.
Stay tuned. Learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. The Oxford Village is one step closer to resurfacing one of its main roads next year. Council voted 3-0 to award the Lapeer-based Rowe Professional Services Company the engineering services contract for the repaving of West Burdick between M24 and Ashley Way. Rowe's bid for the project was almost $5,000. The only other bid was from Pontiac-based Nowak and Frost engineers at nearly $8,000. Earlier this year, Council budgeted $8,000 for the engineering portion of the project.
It appears Addison Township is going to get that Verizon cell tower after all. After discussion has gone on at the commission level for over a year and in its entirety for over a year and a half, the Township Planning Commission voted 6-0 that the nearly 200-foot monopole site plan met the zoning requirements to construct the pole on the outside perimeter of Kingsbury School's playground. Addressing Kingsbury's concerns, Commissioner Chuck Sargent gained a commitment from Verizon representatives to meet with the school officials to perhaps assist in playground modifications.
A middle-of-the-night fire broke out in an Addison Township home last week while the family of 4 were home fast asleep. Thanks to the mother, who is a light sleeper, the family was able to escape without injury. Located on Farm Brook Trail, just east of Hosner Road, the 2-story home with an attached 3-car garage and a walkout basement is estimated to be a total loss, according to Addison Fire Chief Jerry Murawski. While it has not been confirmed yet, it appears the fire started on the outside of the home where a power cord was plugged in for the backyard pond.
Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. That's what the Oxford schools are taking to heart as teachers and staff at all 5 of the district's elementary schools underwent active shooter response training on August 17th and the 21st. In addition to the training, the district has installed electronic gates and bollards at the high school and installed nearly 600 night lock security devices throughout the district.
And a retired pastor reached quite a goal and milestone Saturday in Oxford Township. Bob Service officiated his 1,000th wedding ceremony at the Oakwood Wedding Chapel. To learn more about Pastor Bob's journey, watch our OCTV Community Access program this week.
With the new days of school comes a few new faces in the Oxford Community Schools staff rooms. More than 15 new staff are bringing their expertise from colleges and careers across the state and specializing in a variety of subjects. For all of you parents out there, please stop by and say hi to the new teachers.
Cemeteries aren't just resting places for the deceased. In small towns, they are reservoirs for local history. Buried there are folks whose names adorn our local buildings, streets, signs, and monuments. These are people who build our community through bricks, deeds, and ideas. The Northeast Oakland Historical Society is hosting and inviting folks to learn more about Oxford's rich history by taking a stroll through the Township Cemetery on Saturday, September 8th. This is the second time for the event, organized by Jim Latola, an Historical Society member, who has spent the past year researching family histories of 8 Oxford founding families. Local volunteers will tell their tales during the annual walking tour, which runs from 1 to 4 p.m. Tickets are available at the museum. You don't want to miss it.
That's a fun time. Last year, everybody had good comments about the entire event, even though it was raining and windy and cold, which is why they're having it a little bit earlier. I think last year it was in October. This year it's September 8th. So.
Right. It is really interesting. I think, you know, what happens is that there are representatives each family, and they're dressed in that period.
Yes, that's right. I'm one of those volunteers.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Well, great. Thank you for volunteering.
I'm looking forward to it. I missed it last year. I was out of town. So.
Well, there's one thing I want to mention here, and that is school, as you know, is going to begin soon.
Right.
Buses are going to be on the road. Small children are going to be getting on the bus. You want to be careful. You know, the Sheriff's Department and the local police are trying to make you cognizant of the fact that these little ones can dart, you know, into the roadway. Not a good thing. Be careful.
Right, right. Yeah, drive safely, and our schools, obviously, from the stories that we did this week, are working hard to keep our kids safe. So we should too, right? So let's drive safe out there.
You see those bus lights flashing? Make sure you stop. Don't pass those buses, okay? You could hit a little one. That would be bad.
You don't want that to happen. There's always some kind of concern every year when you watch these people. You know, young kids don't think about it, but anyhow. That's it for Oxford News this week. If you'd like to learn more about these stories and others, pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper, or better yet, you can catch us on our website, OCCTV.org, on our cable channels, Spectrum, Channel 191, and AT&T, Channel 99.
Coming up soon on New Face to School News is Alexis Ware, our new person that handles that particular program. And then OCTV's very own Cody Wright with the Sports Report. And you don't want to miss Auto Talk and Science in the News with Dave Kenny.
I'm Terry Stiles. Thanks for watching Oxford News this week, where we bring your news closer to home.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching. Hi, I'm Elgin Nichols with Oxford Community Television.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we represent Minutes by Minute, in which case you want to catch local information that's going on with your government officials.
That's right. Whether you live in the village of Oxford, Oxford Township, village of Leonard, Addison Township, we'll cover it all.
All of the above, and we'll look to see you there.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, the failure of parents to vaccinate their children has contributed to the biggest surge in measles cases Europe has seen in a decade, according to the World Health Organization. Across the 53 countries in the region, there have been at least 37 deaths and more than 41,000 cases in the first half of this year, already nearly twice the almost 24,000 cases recorded in the whole of 2016. More than half of this year's cases have been in Ukraine, where measles vaccination coverage has plummeted over the past decade. In 2016, vaccination rates dropped to 50%. The World Health Organization warns that as soon as fewer than 95% of eligible children receive vaccinations, measles can spread rapidly. England has seen 807 cases this year, 281 of them in London alone. Before vaccination began in 1968, the UK recorded roughly 500,000 cases a year. Wow. Well, back on your lawn, fireflies don't only light up their behinds to woo mates, they also do it to tell predatory bats to keep away. The twist in the tale of the trait that gives fireflies their name was discovered by Jesse Barber at Boise State University in Idaho and his colleagues. The characteristic benefits both fireflies and bats because these insects taste disgusting to the mammals. When swallowed, chemicals emitted by the fireflies cause bats to vomit them back up, meaning both species are keen to avoid such an interaction. Researchers placed 8 bats in a dark room with 3 to 4 fireflies plus 3 times as many palatable insects, including beetles and moths, for 4 days. During the first night, all the bats captured at least 1 firefly. But by the 4th night, most bats had learned to avoid fireflies and catch all the prey instead, the other prey that is. When the team painted fireflies' light organs dark, a new set of bats took twice as long to learn to avoid them. This is the first time we have good experimental data on the warning displays of fireflies, Barber says. It had long been thought that fireflies' bioluminescence mainly acted as a mating signal, but the new finding explains why firefly larvae also glow despite being sexually immature. But bats don't depend on bioluminescence alone to avoid making a meal of unpalatable fireflies. The team also found that bats use echolocation to distinguish fireflies from other insects by the wing beat rate. Wow. The ability of bats to use combined sensory system to detect fireflies is truly amazing, Barbara says. In a last story, out in space, meet the Milky Way's elderly neighbors. It turns out that the faint galaxies orbiting our own are among the oldest in our universe, a discovery hailed as the equivalent of finding the remains of the first humans that inhabited Earth. These satellite galaxies, including Ursa Major and Boots I, or 1, are thought to be more than 13 billion years old. The closest is probably Segway 1, some 75,000 light years away, says Sonak Bose of the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics. Most attempts to find older galaxies have looked very deep into the universe, which makes sense. Since light travels a long time to travel to us from the far reaches of the cosmos, this is the equivalent of looking back in time. Now, it turns out they are right on our doorstep. The nice thing about that is, because they are relatively near, we can actually see them, says Bose. Theoretical models predict that very old galaxies should be sprinkled throughout the cosmos. The discovery was made as part of research into how galaxies grew from very small ones to the large ones we see today. The old galaxies formed in the cosmic dark ages, a period about 380,000 years after the Big Bang, in which the early hot universe had cooled down and become transparent for the first time. As part of this, the researchers studied satellite galaxies orbiting the Milky Way. They found two different populations, very faint ones, which they think are among the very first that formed, and brighter ones which formed later. The Milky Way itself also formed later because smaller, earlier galaxies inhibited the growth of our own larger galaxy. The observation of these very faint galaxies has only been possible in the last decade thanks to the increasingly sophisticated sky maps from the Sloan Digital Sky Survey and the Dark Energy Survey, which have so far detected 54 satellites around the Milky Way. However, both surveys only cover a fraction of the total area of the sky. There could be in between 100 to 150 satellites in total surrounding the Milky Way, the vast majority of which is comprised of this very old population of galaxies, says Bose. Well, we got new neighbors. Well, that's it for this edition for Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
What's going on, Wildcat fans? Cody Wright back here once again with this week's Sports Report. It's now starting to set in that this fall sports season is here. Next week, we will have lots to report on: football, boys soccer, tennis, cross country, and volleyball soon to come, as well as sideline cheer and girls golf. Fall is a crowd favorite for high school sports, I think, and we have a great athletic program here, so I think this season is going to be another great one. This week, an assembly was held on the football field for all of the fall athletes. We managed to get some footage and interviewed head football coach Bud Rowley. So here it is. Check it out.
Yep, we're here at the Oxford Meet the Teams night, and the Oxford football team just finishing up a practice, and we are with our legendary coach. You are. Stop it, okay, Bud Rowley. But how's everything going, buddy?
Very good. We've had a good 3 weeks, and so everybody's itching to hit Romeo and someone else. So let's get this practice over with, and let's get this game here Friday night.
This is like your 42nd year here. Okay.
Yeah, 40. I don't know.
42, 43. What does it matter, right?
It's a long time.
Opening nights, is it always different than the rest of the season? Do you approach it the same way?
Same way. You just everything's the same. You don't want to. You do everything the same way because you want the same outcome, and so you keep everything the same. You don't change a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Now, how many freshmen and how many seniors you got coming back this year and stuff?
I got 20 seniors, and every one of those seniors are players. Every one of them are players. That's the heartbeat of this football team, is those 20 seniors.
And the coaching staff, the heartbeat of the team.
Those guys, I tell you what, the kids, the coaching staff, that's what makes Oxford football. And the mom and dads and the community, awesome. That's why we've been very, very good for years and years and years.
Well, Bud, you're part of the reason why, too, and we're going to be here Friday night catching a great game against Romeo. Again, we appreciate you taking time. Anything you want to say to the people of Oxford?
Go Wildcats, win.
Bud Rowley says it the best way, Oxford Community Television.
While I love winning as much as the next person, we use athletics as a tool to navigate life. Athletics will give our students a chance to experience great triumphs and defeat. Our students will learn how to handle disappointment and excitement. They will learn how to have tough conversations. Sometimes calls for officials will not go our way and we will feel cheated. Maybe your student will not like their coach and have to learn how to play through it and continue to work hard as they will when they grow and evolve into working adults. Parents, I ask that you please allow your students to work through these challenges. When they graduate and move on, they will be that much more prepared for life. Without your support of our coaches, we will not be able to reach our best. We need you to be all in. I will be around for a little bit after. Please feel free to stop by if you have any questions. Thank you so much for attending tonight and supporting Oxford High School Athletics. Have a great night and drive safely.
And we're here at the end of, I guess you would say it was Meet the Teams 2018. Jordan Ackerman. Guess we got a good song behind us and everything's ready for the upcoming fall season of sports here.
Yeah, our teams worked extremely hard during the summertime. They've been in the weight rooms. They've been out on our practice fields working extremely hard. So they're ready. Our coaches are ready. Our parents are ready. I think Oxford's ready.
That's a testament to the athletes. I mean, they actually start school before school actually starts. I mean, with some of the contests. I mean, we heard some of the teams saying what their records were. I mean, expecting a great fall season of sports all the way around the block, right?
Absolutely. You know, our kids have been out here for months. You know, whether it been just strength conditioning in the weight room, I know our middle school kids have even been out. Additionally, our kids have been out in the community doing work. So,
how do you find the passion here in Oxford sports? I mean, you know, you're kind of new to the community here, but I mean, how do you feel with the passion that goes on here on the field and off the field?
Well, I mean, it's easy to get fired up here. It's easy to get excited. Our town shuts down on Friday nights. You know, our town shuts down during the basketball season. It's exciting. It's exciting for everyone involved.
Well, Jordan, I really appreciate the time here for the TV station. We're going to maybe try to set something up where we can debut and talk to some of the other athletes and find out maybe what they don't do on the field.
Sounds exciting.
Oxford football, Oxford sports, fall sports. Jordan Ackerman, the AD here. What a great night here for Oxford. Join us more coming up on Oxford Community Television.
We also sat down and talked to our athletic director, Jordan Ackerman, who is very excited for this year. So here it is. Take a look.
Okay, we're here with Jordan Ackerman, the athletic director here at Oxford, getting ready for the fall season this year. Any surprises, any new things?
No, you know, we're just ready to get after it here. You know, I tell you, this is just the best place to be here in Oxford. This town is unbelievable. The support we received through the summertime with just parents, the kids doing some stuff around the community, just the community as a whole. Oxford's awesome. So it's great to be here. I'm excited for the second year here for me. The kids are excited to get back on the courts, on the field, so we're pumped up, ready to go.
Well, you're preaching to the choir when you talk about Oxford. We're definitely so much Oxford support here. This is a great community. A lot of sports. How many sports we got this fall?
Ooh, this fall. Yeah, putting
you on the spot
like that.
It's that many sports.
Refer to my tab here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have we're going about 15 sports.
15 sports.
Yeah, so you have to factor in the JVs and the freshmen then as well. So probably close to about 25.
Now we got 5 football games this year, and this week is our first game.
Yeah, taking on Romeo, the crosstown rival there. You know, they're a member of the MAC conference. I'm very familiar with them, so it should be a good squad coming in. But I think we're going to do some damage on them.
I think Oxford's always been really good in the OAA. We're not the biggest school, but we sure do well, don't we?
Yeah, our kids are they're scrappy, they're tough. The parents do a great job with raising them, and they take the field with the right mentality. And I'm excited to see what we're going to bring to the table this year.
Can you explain a little bit how the OAA works? And because a lot of people are kind of confused, especially new parents and kids that come in. You know, what is this 3 league? What's red, white, blue? What is all this? Can you maybe walk us through that?
Yeah. So being new to the OAA myself, I'm not sure how it all started in the history of where they set the teams, but traditionally it's based on if you win or lose. So if you win the league, say we're we're in the white, we're going to move up the next year if we win the league. If we were finished last place in the league, we're going to move down. We can also appeal. So say we had a rough year in the red. So if we had a rough year in the red and we just didn't feel our kids were big enough, or the size of our school, if we didn't have enough students and we just can't compete with the larger schools, then we would appeal and say, hey, it's just best if we move down for safety concerns and stuff like that. And the league is great, and they'd say no problem, we'd move us down.
Oh, I didn't know that was an option. I thought you just had to go up, because I know a lot of times, I think in hockey one year we graduated 12 kids and we lost our hockey program.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, I wasn't here when that happened, but at the same time, we do have we're going to look out for the kids, the safety of the kids, number one, and the league's never going to deny that. So we're always going to do what's best for kids and always going to do what's best for the safety of the kids. So if we have to appeal down, we'll appeal down.
Yeah, no, we enjoyed the OAA because what happens, you get a little more parity in the league. Like before, when we were in the Flint League, I mean, you'd blow away a team and then you get blown away by another team, and the distance, the degree and how many kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it wasn't fun games.
Right. When you get into like the old Flint Metro League, the great thing about that league was just the small towns, the rivalries that would form, and the OA has a lot of that as well, but you're also getting into some, we're playing some schools that we never really associate with. Our kids don't really, you talk about Lake Orion and Clarkston's, our kids mesh well. They've been playing Little League together, or Little League football together all growing up. So those rivalries naturally form, and their town shuts down, our town shuts down. We go at it. So that's the great thing about having the Lake Orions and the Clarkstons and the Rochesters near us. It creates that excitement for our community and our kids, and the whole town comes out, and it's a great atmosphere.
Man, I haven't seen you this excited, man. We walked in the door today, and Jordan was all smiles. Oh, you guys are here we're here for the first volleyball game, first game of the season. You are pumped.
Yeah, I'm pumped up. I get here. I've been here for about a month now, just getting ready, and it's like I'm here all by myself. The teachers aren't back yet. The kids are, they're in here for practices, so I get to see them working hard. Our kids are they're busting their tails on the field, lifting weights, and you just see like how much effort and how much work they put into it every day. And we're finally here. We're finally here where they get to get on the courts and get to compete. So, I'm very excited today, and I'm sure I'll be excited the rest of the season. But this is just an exciting day for me because, again, this is the first game our girls volleyball is going to team. They've just been working so hard. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen out here today.
Yeah, they got some tough teams to play too. So there we go, Jordan Ackerman. We're going to have a great fall season. Man, you're a good AD, I'll tell you.
Oh man, well thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
Yeah, all right.
Well, folks, that's all for this week's report. I want to thank you all for watching and remind you to tune in next week and to stay tuned and keep posted to oxfordathletics.org for upcoming games this season and game breakdowns, statistics, rosters, and more, all once again at oxfordathletics.org. While you're at it, might as well check us out at OCCTV.org. All of our coverage of sporting events and more are posted on our YouTube page, which you can access through the website. Once again, that is OCCTV.org. And that's all for me this week. I want to thank you all for watching and remind you to tune in next time. But until then, I'm Cody Wright. Go Wildcats.
The Michigan Renaissance Festival is about to begin. Tell us which OC TV show you're watching and we'll send you a limited number of tickets while supplies last. Just send a self-addressed stamped envelope to 1775 North Lapeer Road and we'll get them back to you. See you there. Huzzah!
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories come from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, BMW is wading back into the roadster market with the revival of the Z4, a car whose predecessor helped spark a renaissance in small sporty coupes and burnish the German luxury brand's driving bona fides with the Z1 and later the Z3 in the 1990s. Rather than going it alone, the newest BMW Z4 shares a platform with Toyota's revived Supra sports car to keep engineering and development costs in check. BMW took the lead in the creation of the common platform under a joint agreement signed in 2012. The two-seat Z4 will be powered by a 3-liter inline-6 engine. The Z4 M40i will accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 4.4 seconds, BMW said. Also available is the BMW M-Tune Sport suspension with electronically controlled dampers, M-Sport braking system, and an electronically controlled M-Sport rear differential. The 2019 Z430i, powered by a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, will arrive in the U.S. dealerships next spring. BMW said the Z4 M40i, including the first edition, will arrive in the second quarter of 2019. The Z4 M40i First Edition will sport an electrically operated fabric soft top, a change from the latest or that is to say the last Z4's retractable hardtop. It also features black exterior mirror caps and two-tone 19-inch light alloy wheels. The interior contains a Harman Kardon surround sound system, adaptive LED headlights, and a head-up display. With the Mazda Miata, the Z3 helped spark the American Renaissance in roadsters. The original Z3 was followed by the Mercedes SLK and Porsche Boxster. The latest brands to enter the segment include the Subaru with the BRZ, Toyota with the 86, and Fiat with the Spider. Meanwhile, other brands such as Cadillac and Honda have exited the segment. And over at Hyundai, Hyundai is freshening the Elantra compact sedan, the brand's best-selling U.S. nameplate currently for the 2019 model year, giving it a slightly sharper look and more standard safety features. U.S. sales of the Elantra total 113,481 units through July, down 0.1% from the year earlier. The updated model arrives in dealerships this fall. We invested a lot of money in this midlife freshen, said Mike O'Brien, Hyundai Motor America's Vice President of Product, Corporate, and Digital Planning. It just shows our commitment to the category. It's still very robust. Noticeable changes, including new fenders, a new hood, and new lights up front, as well as a new grille, bumper, and deck lid are available. Hyundai's SmartSense suite of safety features will be standard on the car except for the base trim. SmartSense has become standard equipment on other models in the brand's lineup, including the redesigned 2019 Santa Fe. We're adding a similar suite of safety features to this car because of such a price-conscious category, says O'Brien. It's on every car standard except for the very base model. For the Elantras in SEL trim or above, SmartSense is made up of standard forward collision avoidance assist, lane keep assist, and driver attention alert. Inside, there's a redesigned center stack as well as a new instrument cluster. For the limited and sport trims, Hyundai added LED headlights with a light guide technology with a unique feature. When the lights turn off, it turns into chrome, O'Brien said. It's basically a one-way glass technology. It gives it a very modern look during the day, but gives it a very advanced look in the nighttime, he says. This light guide technology you'll see on some upcoming new models in the next few months. It's very expensive, but it allows us to give the car a very fresh and technology-rich feeling to it. And on the recall front, Fiat Chrysler said August 23rd it's recalling nearly 209,000 minivans, SUVs, and crossovers worldwide to inspect and fix a brake problem that can cause longer stopping distances. The recall covers the 2018 Dodge Journey, 2019 Jeep Cherokee, and the 2018 and 19 Dodge Grand Caravan and Jeep Compass. Most of the recalled vehicles, over 154,000, were built in the spring of 2018 and have been sold in the United States or in U.S. dealer inventories, FCA said. The automaker says a brake system part wasn't produced to specifications. In new vehicles with very low mileage, these components may cause gas bubbles to form in the vehicle's brake fluid, the company said in a statement. Brake function would remain in such circumstances, but stopping distances may be increased. Vehicle owners will be notified soon, and dealers will replace the brake fluid, which Fiat Chrysler said will repair the problem. And that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and as always, may the wind be at your back as you cruise down life's highways.